we don't really actually start properly until lesson 2. So
On
let's
that.
discuss lesson 2. Producing with your voice clocks in at 9.5 minutes. So this is where Mariah explains how she writes melodies and says this is how she uses her voice as an instrument. She's not classically musically trained. She doesn't read sheet music. She did try to learn piano once upon a time, but she will receive a melody. She will hear a
Mm.
melody, and then she'll express that vocally. She'll vocalize it, and then she wants to be with someone that can then interpret that and transfer it through instruments. And we quickly get into an example of that with the string quartet. And this is the bit that's doing the rounds on social
Mm.
media. We've got that because it's a very satisfying few seconds where she's just, hitting some high notes, and then it's that she wants the violin to mimic. And I find that extremely satisfying.
Yes. In this working session, I'm going to guide the quartet to replace the original synth strings from the roof and experiment with a new intro for the song. Yes. Wow, that could be a beautiful intro, though. We could do something really pretty with that.
This was the first moment where it clicked with me. I was like, oh, okay, this is why she's special. This is why it's called, the voice is an instrument. Because so I talking about myself for a moment. I teach a lot of kids. Like I do a lot of theatre with young performers, and the way voices work is, especially with male voices, as an adult your voice breaks and it becomes lower. Like through puberty, like your voice breaks, it becomes lower. So if I'm trying to teach kids singing, it can be really hard for them to replicate what I'm singing, because normally what I'd sing what they're singing an octave lower, which is like 8 tones lower. So it's the same note, but it's like 8 tones lower. And so they then try and match that and sing too low. And I go, oh no, you need to sing it at this pitch. So I'll take it up to the octave they're singing in, but because of where I would sing, the quality that would make the vocal placement of that sounds a lot lighter. So then they take it up even higher, so they sound like almost like little opera singers. And it's like, no, that's not where you need to be. And so it can be really tricky to do that, to get both the vocal quality and the pitch to match what they want, and for them to be able to replicate that. And what Mariah Carey can do, because she can sing in so many registers, is when she wants that violinist to play in sort of like the highest octave that she can sing that and go, I want you at this pitch, because the notes might be the same, but the octave that it's in might be different. And so her being able to do that straight away, the violinist is like, oh no, I'm playing up here. Great, I've got it. And that was fascinating to me. And the fact that she has the melody in her head, and she might not know the terminology, she might not know the actual notes themselves. Whereas, so in for the context, she's with her musical director. So it's Mariah, it's Daniel Moore, her musical director, and then you've got a string quartet, and that's sort of the setup for this lesson. And so Daniel Moore is giving all of the technical stuff, like, oh, it's a B flat to C sharp, whatever. Oh, can you have a quarter rest here? Da 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 da. Mariah's not giving all of that, but she's so specific with the
Yes.
rhythm and with the notes and the melody, and so she shows straight away, like, the voice is an instrument. Well, it's not just about singing, it's a tool that I use to communicate what I want, rather than all this technical jargon. And I found that so impressive, and that was long-winded of me, but we got there in the end.
No, I love it. I mean, thought you explain it so well, because I'm not from any by any stretch a musical background. I found that really interesting. Like, you're teaching kids, and where do I what reference am I giving them? But Mariah can literally put herself there. She can give the notes, and she doesn't have it's like the language of
Yeah,
the
exactly.
musical notes, and Daniel Moore is like the translator, and there's that the bouncing back and forth, and if he needs to step in and give like a technical note or guide the musicians with, oh, it's this note or it's this kind of a pause, I think she's hearing this. And they've been working together for a hot minute now, so he understands where she's coming from. They're on the same level. But I love the moments where it's back and forth, and the violinist and Mariah, and they do like even a split screen, like we are now, and she's singing and she's using hand gestures, and the violinist is really
Really made
listening.
me laugh. She's there going like,
Yeah, Mariah's there with her air violin, but there's that back and forth, and sometimes it's just Mariah and one of the musicians.
Yeah. Yeah.
G flat. Yeah.
People have no idea how amazing it is to be able to sing something to somebody and have them play it back to you.
Yes.
Da bum 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 bum. Yes.
They did feature. If I were that female violinist, I'd be very happy with my feature across these lessons right now, because they had like a little connection. I mean, she connected well with everybody, but they got the most airtime, I would say. She was given specific notes or direction to the female violinist, and I love those moments where it's Mariah and her back and forth, and then Mariah might turn to Daniel. I think you hear what I'm hearing, but it's the word that I wrote down is what you just said, specific. I love the playful and exploratory nature of this session. That's what it is. It's a Butterfly Lounge session, and yes, it's set up in like, it's not like the genuine mobile Butterfly Lounge. Mariah, this is set up for MasterClass. They've had a beautiful set design. It's bigger to accommodate the lighting and the cameras, but it is still a genuine session. She's there with these musicians. It's a small room full of incredibly talented artists at the peak of what they all do, and I love that kind of back and forth, and it's got such a fun, it's like they're kind of like it's like playing with each other. It's like sparring. They're just exploring, and it's playful, but at the same time she is so specific. Mariah, she hears something, and she guides and directs in a very supportive, friendly way. Or perhaps it could be like this, or could you do it like that? And she really is, her body language is just so natural, but she is playing the air violin. She's using her hands with her voice as she does. She's when she wants a swell, she's using hand gestures and body language, and she's leaning in, and I'm like, I really did get very quickly absorbed into, oh, this is actually, and yes, it's on a set, and yes, it is full glam and hair and makeup and lighting, but it does feel genuine. I do genuinely feel I am watching Mariah create music in a studio setting, and this is what I have been wanting to see for a long time. So this first proper lesson 2, it really did get me excited.